Yep, I'm late. I know, daygummit. Hello, everybody. I know I'm late. Sorry. I was sharpening my pencil. That's what I was doing. It just took a while to do that. Going to be a fun little stream, I think. Anyway, I hope. Yeah, Bonnie, I know. 6 minutes late. Actually, yeah, maybe 7. Radios. Don't agree with her radios. Yeah. Hey, Cecil. Mullah Gamer is here. Hello. Good to see you. Same here. Any crazy gold deals over there, Bonnie? Yeah, I know, Bonnie. Mike, how are you? Took off work today to go to a swap meet. Did you get anything? Radios, or have you not gone yet? Hey, Barry's here again. Awesome. Hello, Barry. I really love the film of your grandpa. Oh, radios. Oh, did you post it? Radios? I did not see it. Greetings all. Hello, Jeffrey. Only found one camera, Imperial 620 film camera. A camera is a camera. Good job. But I got another old radio, turntable, and Sony reel-to-reel. Gosh, you love that. I mean, that good old analog, vintage analog stuff is just so much fun to be around. New secondhand literally opened yesterday, and I got like 8 analog gear for like 30 bucks. Yeah, of course you did. Hey, Abel is here. Abel, I did see your question, and I actually have it written down. And thank you for popping in. Nisi is here. Hello, Nisi. Yeah, no kidding, Barry. She's just showing off. Gordon's here. Hello, Gordon. You are done. Yes, done. I doubt it. No one that's into analog is ever truly done. Every minute late equals additional additional half hour. Oh, I'm in for it today. What would that be? I was 7 minutes late. We'll call it 7 minutes. So that's 3.5 extra hours. So this should be a almost 5-hour stream. Woo! Okay, I got that. Yeah. Sony Betamax SL7200. Did you get that on eBay Radios? In sad video news, my Sony Betamax SL2710 stopped loading tapes. That is sad news, but that happens. Some of this old 1970s stuff, whoo, it's very difficult to keep it rolling. I was early. Hey, Dave, I was early for next week. Yeah, you're right. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. All right, kids. What's on the agenda? A couple things I want to discuss. First and foremost, I'm working on a little something. I'm revisiting something. I just want to let you guys know. You guys know what that is? First person to guess is the first person to guess it correctly. Now you know. Trying to get this just enough light. That's a single 8 camera. 8 camera, yeah, Jeffrey. It's my single 8 camera. It's a Z2. It's a Fujica Z2. Now, when I got it, it was in really good condition, mint, and it still is. It's just that it's been sitting for a long time, and it's starting to get some fungi in the lens. Whoosh. So we're gonna see what happens. I do have a little bit of fungus in there. But I'm going to revisit single 8, and I loaded it yesterday. This is really a cool camera. You can backline your film. Single 8 was a little bit different than Super 8, even though the measurements are exactly the same. But you could backline the film in the cartridge. Super 8, you couldn't really do that. It had a break on it. But with this, you can, for dissolves and fade-ins and fade-outs. This is really a neat camera. So I do have it loaded with some really old Fujipan R50. I got a few of these that have been in my freezer for a long time, and look how this one's really rough. This is R200. These are black and white films. So I have to think back. I don't remember if yes, Nisi, single 8. You got that right. Straight 8. Fujica. Well, it's not really straight 8, but I know what you're saying. So I had bought a bunch of these. I bought like 20 of these in a lot. Now they're old, and honestly, I don't know if any of them are any good, really. But I paid $5 for all 20. Ha ha, Bonnie. Um, but that was about 3 or 4 years ago, and I put them in my freezer, and they've been there ever since. I got a roll in here of 50, ISO 50, black and white. I plan on shooting that this week. Maybe my wife's off on Tuesdays, so maybe her and I will go somewhere Tuesday and we'll blast this film and give it a shot and see what happens. Single 8. And single 8's a lot. The film itself, there are some subtle differences. Namely, the cassettes are different. Well, I can show you guys real quick. What do I got to do? You guys are going to make me stay here all day. So the registration is better because it has more of a pressure plate system. If I can get this film to work or develop, I'll do a complete review on the camera, because you know I can't do a review without having some film to go with it. But it actually has, it's very difficult to see, but inside there, in the gate area there, it has a pressure plate spring-loaded right there, boing, boing, because the film is completely out on the cartridge. It's not its own gate system or its own pressure plate system like Super 8. So the camera has it rather than the cartridge. So we'll see, but everything is pretty similar. The film is a lot thinner. The film itself is much thinner. So you could probably get close to 100 feet on a 50-foot cartridge, on a 50-foot, reel, but I wouldn't do me any good because I can't process it. 100 feet of it. What's going on here? Actually, what's Bonnie got going on? The best thing I got was film shield for X-ray scanner. I had those. Those are really cool, Bonnie. For $4, a Bolex 8mm take-up reel for $6, 2 unopened VHS brands for $4, and a Leica slide projector for $6. Wow. There's Bonnie. Single 9 cartridges are so easy to reuse. I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Nisi. I don't know how. I'm very not familiar with them, really. I have tried processing. There was a roll of film or a cartridge of film in that camera when I got it several years ago, and I think it was color film, and I can remember trying to process it and I didn't have any luck. And then I may have shot a roll. I don't know. It's just been sitting for so long, and I feel like I tried to use it before and it just didn't work. Craftwork is here. Hello, my friend. I know you're Mike. We're all Mikes anymore. A Polaris Zoom Reflex Automatic P4 8mm camera from 1966 with the serial number C41200. Did you get that, Bonnie? Did you get one of those? That's a nice camera. I mean, loved that single 8. Even had optical soundtrack recording on one of 2 models. I did not know that, but that's pretty awesome. I did not know. I know that the Fujica, or these are Japanese models, had a lot of cool and different features than they had in actual Super 8. Hey Nasser, how are you, my friend? Nasser, I am going to be ordering a brand spanking new roll, 100-foot roll of double perf, 100 ISO, black and white 16mm movie film this coming week. And we can thank Nasser, because Nasser covered the cost of that so that we can do an experiment in my really old camera. He was kind enough, I didn't ask, he was just kind enough to make a small donation, a sizable donation, very generous donation, to buy that roll of film. So I will be doing that this week. So look for some brand new FPP 16mm double perf film and a 100-year-old 16mm camera. Imperial 620 duo lens. Nice. I blocked myself from eBay. Jeffrey. And thrift stores until I buy film for the cameras I have. Yes, use them, Jeffrey. Hey, hey. There is Mike. only used reels of 8mm. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm just goofy. I've only used reels of 8mm, never cartridges. Oh, you never used the little magazines of 8mm. Those are kind of cool. They're really easy. And there's one style of them, well, both really. There's two different styles of the old 8mm cartridges, but they're really easy to reload. Relatively easy to reload. I was asking if it was the camera you showed, but I also got a Shinon Super 8 camera. Oh no, that's not. This is Bonnie, this was a Fujica. This is a single 8 camera. These were made in Japan. This was sort of their answer to Super 8. It's the same film size, same sprocket hole, same everything. The film is a lot thinner. The base is a lot thinner. But this is single 8. And it takes these single 8 cartridges like this. You see that? I think Whitmer carries these or reloads these, but I'm not positive. I know that they're not super easy to find anymore. The film. Oh, thanks, Nasser. Yes, very awesome of Nasser to do that. From FPP, yes, I will be getting the film from FPP. I use Fujica Z700, that's a nice camera, and fill the cartridge with 33 feet of Fomapan, which perfectly fits in my 10 meters Lomo tank. That's awesome. I need to look deeper into, do you tape the film in, or do you open the cartridge and refill it? Oh, Chase, Jupes is here. Yeah, that's Jupes. You guys see the Jason F guy? We just went and had wings. I posted, if you follow me on Facebook, I posted a picture of me and him at a little wing place, big wing place. I had not seen him in about 3 years, physically seen him. He's my best bud in the world. We do films together. And he was in town, so we went and had wings, and we had a blast catching up. Misi, I use, oh yeah, I already said that. Hey, there's Manny. How are you, my friend? Jupes, thanks for coming in, by the way. Hope you can stay. Hey there, Mike. Good morning from Arizona. Manny is in Arizona. Some folks are trying to create reloadable single 8. Are they trying to 3D print them? I'm guessing, Mike. I was just joking around. I have a Fuji single 8. Oh, you have one. Okay, Bonnie. It's so hard to tell sometimes. What do we got going? Oh, there's Dave. That cartridge looks like the refills for the old electric. Yeah, I know it does with the ink tape in it. There's somebody standing right there. You guys know who's standing right there. Ta-da! Oh, you want to show them your nails real quick? Her big sister just painted her fingernails. There you go. Woo! Spooky 4. Halloween.
And these ones are my favorite. Those
are your favorite?
They have blood on them.
Oh, they have. Ooh.
But they're actually just pink.
It's not real blood? Oh, thank you.
But
they do. What? Who?
They're not dry yet.
What? You want some coffee? You don't drink coffee. All right, they love your nails. Woohoo! Spooktober nail polish. Mike says Spooktober nail polish. All right. Nasser goes, hi, Hyper. He knows you. Hey, Travis is here, you late little... Oh, Mike says hi. Hi, Piper. Okay, love you.
Love you.
She needs a little nudge. Pow Pow is here. I found 2 expired disposable cameras on eBay this week for about 15 bucks. Expired in 2012. Shoot them. Shoot those suckers. I have a few of those with some film left on them somewhere around here. Hey, Remjet is here. Everyone say hello to Remjet. Nice, Pow Pow, those 35mm models, those giveaway cameras. Yes. We had some funny quick story when I got married in 2004. We had our wedding cake. Our wedding cake had film strips around it in icing. And the centerpiece was made out of a 16mm film reel on the center of the table with stuff. And our theme was like sort of Hollywood theme with film stuff everywhere. And and we left, you know, back in the day, well, not that long ago, but you would leave cameras on every table for the guests. And you used film cameras then. I think they got disposable digital cameras or something now, but we had, you know, I don't know, a couple hundred people that were at our wedding, and there was probably 30 or 40 of these cameras all over the tables, and they were the little disposable 35 millimeter cameras. They had the little shell on the outside, you know, that you could put anything you wanted on those. It was a little tuxedo, a little bow tie or something, and yeah, I could probably leave it at that. Some of the photos we found, but we kind of forgot about them, and then I found them like 10 or 12 years after we had gotten married, and I went and I started processing them, and I recommend leaving them if you're getting married. Leave them on the table. You'll be surprised at some of the stuff you get. A lot of candids, a lot of interesting photographs. I'll let you draw your own conclusions, like no face included. Nice, Papa. Okay, yeah. This cartridge can be opened very easy. The film is fixed to a hook on the spool through a hole you punch in the film. Well, you know what, Nisi? I'm going to have to try to take one apart because I have plenty of them. And the last one I did, I think I ended up just pulling the film out, and then I cut it so you could still see a little of the film sticking out in case I wanted to tape a piece on it or something like that. Boom. Papa found one for 15. Yeah. Rimjet is here. Great sounding cake. Yeah, it was a cool cake. I gotta put it. I need to throw a picture. You know what? If I can find a picture of it, I'll throw it up on my little community tab. It might be fun. Because we have, you know, of course, we have a lot of wedding photos. But our wedding photographer was film. He took film photos. Crazy. That's one heck of a cake. There's always that guy. So, Nisa, you know what wavelength I'm on. And Mike, you do too. So what's the word on the good word on the film fest? Well, there's not any good word on it right now, Manny. There's still word on it. I still have all intentions of doing it. But like I say, the last couple months have been so insane for me. It was I just haven't had a whole lot of time to get busy on it lately. I recommend the festival for next February. That's a good recommendation. Yeah. Little spring fest. I remember years ago seeing a video on YouTube where someone used the flash in those disposable thermal cameras to build a taser. Oh, wow. Yeah, there was something about some element in there that could shock you. My local camera store that I have worked at for 1 week just got in more Ektachrome in 30. Oh, cool. That's probably not cheap, is it, Bonnie? The coming months will be super busy too. Yeah, the end of the year is always busy for us. Katie is here. Hello, Katie. Everyone say hello to Katie. No worries. Let me know if you need any help with that. Absolutely, I will, Manny. I had to think for a second. Yeah, it was the capacitors, Mike. You're right. But I will, Manny. There's just some little kinks I needed to work out, mainly hosting, you know, all of the videos, and I don't know. There was a few things I needed to work out. The capacitor inside the camera holds a lot of power. Yeah, that's what I heard. I'd never been shocked by one, but eesh. So I also wanted to mention the Cameraman Mike found film box set series that we're doing. I wanted to give you a very quick update. I've been getting some good emails from Butch Magnum. He goes by on YouTube. You guys have seen him comment before. He's been in my live streams. He lives in that area, Arcadia, California, by the way. He's quite familiar with a lot of what I have posted through that series. He's very familiar with the schools. He knew some of the people, the principals. Somebody that was shown in one of those films, he knew who it was. He's helped quite a bit. And then through a lot of research that I have done in the last 2 years, of looking, I honestly now believe, and I also have a fella that I did a lot of film work for in the last year or so. That's he's sort of an investigative journalist, and he offered to help me a little bit too, which is super awesome. To actually flag him down, little Joey. He's not so little anymore, but I think I know who he is. That's what I was getting at. I have a photo of him, a relatively recent picture, and I have done, like I say, a lot of digging. And I just want to update that I do know, I'm 99% sure I know exactly who he is. The issue is knowing where he is. So that has been sort of the hiccup right now. I do plan on getting through the rest of his films, and I'm hoping as we get later in life, because the films only get later from here. I think we have about a dozen of the ectocombs left, but they're going to get later as we go, I think into the mid 80s, so that might actually help even a little bit more, so we'll see. The shocks are free of charge, yeah. Oh, I'd love to build that myself. You would, Bonnie. You would, Mike. Uh-huh. Let me see what Bonnie's talking about. Oh, the electric piano from the capacitors. Goodness, that sounds interesting. Small world if we want it to be. Yes, it is. Nasser says, I find it difficult to read film counter on my Keystone 60mm camera because, as you know, many films vary in thickness. My last films ended 80 feet for 100 feet of film. Okay, so here's the thing, Nasser. That's true. For the most part, they shouldn't be off by 20 feet. I will say this. If you're buying film from the Film Photography Project, who I wholeheartedly support, by the way, I do buy all of my, or at least everything I can, chemical-wise from them. Developers and stuff like that. I've gotten some film from them. However, I don't know if they load the 100-foot loads or not. And it happens to me as well when I do it. You're not going to get 100 feet when you're buying aftermarket loads. I have bought film from them in the past, 100-foot loads, and gotten anywhere from 80 to 90 feet out of it. So if you're buying film from someone who sells aftermarket or reloaded brand new fresh stock, you're not likely to get a true 100 feet, or your 106 feet is what Kodak would put on it. You're more likely going to get somewhere between 80 and 90, which is what I've gotten. Now, I don't know if that's the actual issue you're having. If you're buying aftermarket stuff, then I would guess that's probably it, Nasser. Have you seen the new video on the Orwo color film from Analog Resurgence, or I saw that he posted it, Bonnie, but I haven't watched it yet. It's on my watch list, but I haven't seen it yet. We're going to catch this guy. Oh, we're going to catch him, Dave. Don't you worry about that, my friend. Oh, don't you worry about that. I think it would be kind of fun. I don't know. We don't know what kind of person he is. If he's a person like me or you people, then maybe we can get him to jump in on a live stream, or I can figure out how to get him in. Yeah, from FPP, Nasser, then that's the issue. You're not getting 100 feet of film, more than likely. Which is common, and that's normal. I don't complain about it. I think we're just lucky to get fresh film stocks, different types of fresh film stocks. And I understand why. If you're spooling down 400 feet, you're never going to get 4 100-foot loads. It's just not going to work out that way. I'd love to see a late reunion with some of the folks who shot these undeveloped. Yeah, that would be so cool, wouldn't it? That's what I mean. If I can find Joey, and actually get in contact with him, I would probably see if he would be interested in jumping in on a live stream, or having him on just one of my normal videos like I did a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys know this, but I did the same thing with an 18 film batch of film, and about 5 rolls in, we found the lady, and I actually had her on one of my videos, her audio. I was talking to her on the phone. And she is Searching for 86. If you look at that playlist, you can watch that. It's a couple years old. I wanted to take, wait, what am I missing? Very little leader. Yes, very little. Very little, Mike. I wanted to take a disposable camera apart once in case there's a discontinued film stock inside. Then I saw the don't take apart and a lightning bolt sticker on there, so I decided against it. Now, Mullet Gamer, one thing to be conscious of is in most of those old disposable cameras, the film is actually not in the film canister. So taking it apart, if it's not been used, you're going to expose all of the film. Somebody texting me? I felt something, yes. So it's just rolled up on one side, and then as you use it and you crank the little film advance, it's winding it back into the canister. So when you send it to the lab, they pop it open. It's real easy to get the film out. There's a little lever on the bottom. You can just cut through the cardboard or the sticky paper or whatever, and then you can pop this thing and the film should fall out. But if you try to take it apart before the film has been exposed, do it in the dark room because it's not inside the film canister yet. Mola, they are safe. Play. Mike. Heck yeah, maybe he joins the live stream or maybe he's already here as a silent lurker. He very well could be a lurker. I do jump in on some live streams and sort of lurk. I don't comment a lot. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Bonnie, just finished my Kodak branded 10-pack of AA batteries that I bought in Germany back in May. Were they any good? Were they Duracell comparative? That would be so cool if Joey is already a viewer here. That would be really cool. And he just wants to keep seeing his films. That would be awesome. The only bad thing about finding him too early, I actually sent this to my buddy, who's the investigative journalist, who also loves film, is that I still have about 20 of his films, and I probably wouldn't continue to show them publicly if you know, you're showing someone's life, trying to find them, and then you found them and you just continue to show their life. So there would be I guess a downside to some of it, but not really a downside. I'd much rather find them, I guess. Oh, yeah, things happen. I got pushed behind. Oh, you did it in dark bag. Good, very good. It was so well constructed that I didn't get it open, and then I saw the sticker. Yeah. You gotta almost just break them apart. That's how I've taken them apart before, but you're gonna break something. Gotta leave early. See you guys next week. Good luck on the Joey quest. Remjet, thank you for popping in. Really appreciate it. See you next week for sure. Hopefully you're here. I love when you guys are here. Well, that worked and is inside my $12 Canon 514 XL. Awesome, Bonnie. Awesome. Oh, wow. Still have a strip of 20 Kodak batteries. But all of them are zinc carbon batteries. Perfect for remote controls or any purpose where a little bit of charge is needed every once. Oh, that's cool. I don't know if I've ever used their batteries. Do the 8/Super 8 cameras have different ways of correct exposure meters, or I have said not to have the correct exposure, keep the needle not in the red zone, others keep on red zone? No, I don't like keeping it in the red zone. Different ways of correct exposure. Jeffrey, maybe I'm a little confused. Do the 8/Super 8 cameras have different ways of correct? Do you mean of like calibrating them or exposure meters? Once I have not too many. Oh wow, it didn't leak. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't. I have some Duracells that aren't that old that have already started leaking. Jeffrey, I'm a little confused. I don't like the red zone. They were brand new. That's awesome. What else did I want? I want to ask you guys. Okay, so Abel asked a question about Xtol on old Ektachrome. Abel, I think you mean Ektachrome as a black and white, correct? Because Xtol is a black and white developer, and the answer is yes. Pretty much any black and white developer. Abel asked on my community tab if you could use Xtol, Kodak Xtol developer on old Ektachrome film. And yes, you can use any black and white developer on old Ektachrome or pretty much any film, period. Most film you can get a black and white image out of. Color film, black and white film. It's just how good that black and white image is going to be. That's the question. But yes, you can use Xtol, just like you can use Dectol and D76 and D19 and HC110 and Rodinol and all the Ilford developers. And so pretty much any black and white developer will work with any film. You just have to experiment a little bit with times. That's the key. That's the key. Also, I got 10 packs of AA batteries, 2 packs of 3-volt CR, 2032 batteries, and 2 9-volt batteries. All Kodak, huh? No kidding. Wasting that color information. Yeah, I know. It stinks. It really does. I just have not had... I've developed a lot of the old Ektachrome in color. I really have. But I just never get a lot of good color out of it. I get a lot heavier grain, typically. And I get really dull, just muted, icky colors. It's just... Ektachrome wasn't a bright, vibrant color film to begin with. It never, ever really reached Kodachrome levels. And I don't think they were trying to. It's a much faster film than Kodachrome. So, you know, it begs to... it just wasn't... It was never an overly brilliant film as far as colors. So I don't have good luck with colors on old Ektachrome. And old Ektachrome 160, you really can't use hot temps on anyway, because the emulsion needed that pre-hardener, and it's just not possible. A lot of reticulation. Yes, Manny. Much too much. But Mulligamer, I really wish I could get good color out of it, because it is so plentiful. Speaking of good color, sorry, old Ektachrome. I had some Kodak VHS cassettes. Yeah, I really hope that someone figures out a way to develop Kodachrome in color. Well, there's been a couple of attempts. I've never seen any that looked great, but there have been a couple that were getting at least some kind of color out of it. One guy did it in just still film, and then Adrian did it in cine film, in you know, this Super 8 film. I just think the process is so difficult that it's to duplicate what Kodachrome it was supposed to look like. I just don't think it'll ever happen. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. But I have seen a little bit of weird color come out of it, but nothing great yet. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We'll see. But I do want to talk a little bit about sound on film. Because years ago, we could get sound on film very easily, right there. You guys remember that, right? Look, it even had the little sound symbols on it. There was a time where I had a freezer completely full of about 100 rolls of that, right there. Kodachrome K40 sound film. And my plan was to shoot a low-budget horror feature film on sound Kodachrome film. The problem is, it's easy to get the film, and this was when you could get Kodachrome developed still. It's easy to get the film, it's easy to get the cameras, it's very difficult to get the film together, the movie together, and that just never materialized, and I ended up selling off all of the film, and now I have several rolls of this that is pretty much worthless for the most part. As is this, and I don't mean worthless, I mean it's film, so I'm definitely going to use it at some point, but as a sound film, not so much. I don't have any luck. Whoa, settle down. I don't have any luck shooting this old sound film now. I've tried it several times. It's not like the Cameraman Mike sound film. I don't know why, but I get really good sound usually, or audio, out of the old Cameraman Mike stuff that was shot years ago. But I get no audio out of it when I try to do it myself. Now, understood, it may be the cameras and the old heads just being all mucked up. That could be the issue. It really could. I don't know. I've never really tried to clean those sound heads in the cameras. But I just don't have any luck getting audio out of this really old magnetic stuff. Now, it also came like this. You guys remember these? I did this a couple weeks ago. Woo! I think the only way this stuff came was actually in, the only way that the 200-foot magazines came were in sound film. I don't think you got it in silent film. I don't remember it ever seeing it in silent film. But do you guys remember these? Ooh. Look at that, how cool are those? There's 200 feet of sound film. Now it's old Ektachrome, older than the 160. It's the 7242 stuff, but it's got the magazine, and half of it is on one side. As it filters through, there's where it hits your sound head, there's where it hits your gate for your picture. It goes from one side through the cartridge to the other side of the take-up, the magazine here. Now, I've seen where people have tried desperately to open these and to reload them and put fresh film in them. Very difficult. They are not meant to be reloaded. And I don't know that anyone's ever had any success doing that. I know I haven't. You know why? Because I never tried. I don't know if I ever will, because I can't develop 200 feet of film continuous. I would have to break it down into quite a few little pieces. But in 1973, Kodak came out with sound striped film, and that's how you could shoot film with sound on it. But in 1997, they gave it the axe. And I think you guys know why. Most of you know why. Because the adhesive used to hold that magnetic strip down was very caustic, and it was very non-environmentally friendly. So they quit. They quit making it. And now that we are so far beyond it, I don't foresee it ever coming back, because clearly there's a way that you can adhere a magnetic strip to a roll of Super 8 film today in a more environmentally friendly fashion. But I just don't see, there's not enough demand for it. The cameras are now extinct for the most part. There's a lot more that can go wrong with sound cameras than with silent cameras. There's extra motors in them. So I just don't see it happening. I know that you can do it after the fact. They are sound striping machines, and you can add a sound stripe to your film. That doesn't help you when it comes to shooting your film, but that's good if you want to add narration or ADR or things like that. You know, 16 millimeter. Maybe you knew, maybe you didn't, but it also came on 16 millimeter film. You guys see the sound stripe on that? The magnetic stripe, you see it on the edge? And there's a balance stripe by the perfs. This is a 200-foot reel of 16 millimeter film, obviously exposed and not processed. These were primarily for news gathering and used in cameras like the Aracon, which started initially with the optical sound head, and then they could be modified with a magnetic sound head later, but more commonly they were used in the CP cameras, like the CP16, that had the magnetic sound head with film rolls like this and like this, which is the same thing. These are sound striped films. See it here? Somewhere on here it says. Somewhere on here, I promise. Well, maybe it doesn't. But these were sound striped films that you would record in the field, and a lot of times they could be processed and shown on TV within an hour or two. So that's how you got audio out of film in the olden days. In the olden days. Have they made videos on that? I searched for this in YouTube and couldn't find anything. Gamer, I think you're talking about processing the Kodachrome, and Adrian Cousins does have a couple videos. He made a really cool machine, processing machine, and it takes remjet off, and he does have a couple videos on his channel. Makes you wonder if it would be possible to digitally develop Kodachrome with a Kodachrome LUT and some AI calculations with simulated die adding together. I think that is probably more feasible, Mike, than actually processing it in color. Channel might have a different name. I have a bit of sound film, but it seems to age worse than any other film. I think I'm with you on that, Manny. I really do. I have no luck with sound film. None. Craftwork, you could... What? You could try Kodachrome to develop it in black and white, but you won't get Kodachrome color. Yeah, I think they would have to simulate the color somehow. I don't know how you could. I mean, it would almost be sort of guesswork, but I don't know. Sounds like a cool idea for our time about that low budget horror movie. Maybe even shot like a silent movie, but with sound. Like silent movies were shot. Like talking. Yeah, it would be kind of cool. I still want to shoot my low budget horror movie. Speaking of that, I know that not everybody in here is horror fans, but we are in my favorite month, Horror-tober. That was so cheesy. I love October because I love horror movies. I'm curious what if you're a horror fan, what your favorite mainstream horror movie is, and if you know or have a favorite sort of underground horror film, because I'm a big fan of low budget independent horror. And I'll tell you now, my favorite mainstream horror is Friday the 13th, the original, and the number 1 and number 2. And my favorite low budget, I don't know how low the budget was, but it was sort of lesser known, is a movie called Chopping Mall. Great fun, just a campy, fun horror movie about some killer robots. Sounds like a cool, interesting, always sound. Yeah, there's always been sound. As far as I know, this was always magnetic. When I worked at Fox Photo in the late 90s, we took out the batteries along with the film and processing disposable cameras. The cameras were boxed up and sent to the recycles and read. Oh, that's cool, Katie. I had no idea. But I've taken a bunch of them apart and take the battery out. About half of them have a little charge left on them that you can keep. The other half, well, as you, I'm sure, know, kind of gummed up and, you know. Oh, this is for the Bolio cameras with the magazine. Yeah, that's for those Mickey Mouse Bolio cameras. I'm trying to find a 200-foot magazine for my Arri S. Funny story, I do have a 200-foot magazine, almost brand new, for the Arri M, which is essentially the same camera as the S, only the M means magazine. So it's like the CP16, where you can only shoot in the using the magazine. It doesn't hold 100 foot. But I need a 200-foot magazine for my Arri S. Oh, this is for this. Yeah, so I have new. What? Come on. What's going on? Oh, Nisi, the pumpkins. Oh, I'm so far behind. Goodness. All right, what's it? Sorry, guys. I'm so far behind. I like the fact that we always start to talk about the thing live stream about Bonnie. I was wondering about that too. I always like to have, I like a good talking point, but it takes a while to get there. Yeah, Katie, I imagine you never had to buy double A's. Sounds like a good 3D printing job. That would be an interesting 3D printing job. Yeah, it would probably be a hard process to get done properly for actual. See, that's the key, Jeffrey or Mike. The key is getting the right Kodachrome colors. Getting a little color out of Kodachrome, that's a chore in itself. And I respect anyone that can get color out of any color out of Kodachrome naturally, as opposed to AI. But getting the real bright, vivid, bright reds that you see from Kodachrome and all of the saturation. I don't know. I hope to see it someday. I just think it's too far gone. And I think the longer it takes, the more this film is just dying. It's just dying. They quit making it in 2010, or no, 2007, I think they actually quit making it. So, I don't know. I mean, we're coming up on 20 years since they actually made a roll of this. I don't know. It's just getting older and older, and it didn't store well to begin with. Can you mess up a magnetic soundtracks by holding it? Yes, you can, gamer. You definitely can. It's just like cassette tape. Mullet. Oh yeah, Mike. See, I'm so far behind. People are already answering. Well, I think I prefer optical soundtracks. Optical soundtracks are cool. You didn't need anything special except the camera. Your film didn't have to have anything on it because it records just like the picture does. It was just a little lesser quality, that's all. Probably not working, but looks great, and for that price. Did I miss something? I know Nisi's talking about something, but I'm not sure. The adhesion process for the break. Yeah, like I say, Mike, I don't know if it. I don't know if there's enough demand. I think someone would do it if there was enough demand for it. I just don't think it's there. Like a full coat film. So that is a ferric strip. I think that's exactly what that is, Jeffrey. Craftwork, the only way to get true Kodachrome colors is to use the original process, which was discontinued and never available to the public. Yes, it was never available to the public, and then I think Dwayne's was the last, well, I know Dwayne's was the last lab to have it, and they got rid of all the machinery and all the processing and everything. And again, there's been a lot of effort, but man, I've not seen anything even remotely close to the original Kodachrome colors. What do you think is the best and worst film formats ever made? Well, I think the best film format ever made was probably 16mm, which was made to be an amateur format and has since blossomed into a great independent format. That's just me personally. I know people will say, no, the best film formats, 70mm or 35mm double, 2 perf or something, which are beautiful. But my personal opinion, I think the best ever, for me, was 16mm. I don't know about the worst. I don't know. I don't know if I have a worst. Maybe disc film. Disc film was a disaster. I'm going to ask if states sound, if packaging states sound. Yeah, it does. I think you mean on this, right, Mike? This? Or do you mean on the 16mm? See, on the bottom of that it says magnetic striped. And of course you already know. Yeah, this does say right here, this is a, I just didn't, you might mean 16. Look right above where it says, right where my finger is, if you can read it, it says mag stripe. And that is simply that. It's this is the same film that I showed earlier, and it has that mag stripe on the edge, as you can see, that brown. I think that's what you mean. Before sounded way better because better signal noise ratio. Yeah, it was a way better, definitely. And cinema with 70 mag copy the vast. Yeah, yeah. The only bad thing is most of the time, Mike, it was only on the original, of course. They didn't typically add a sound stripe to film, which they did add magnetic stripes to 35mm, but they didn't typically add it and then make dupes that way. Most of the time dupes were made with optical sound. So magnetic was, a lot of times, was limited to like field work, like newsreel work. Got nothing new. Film Imperial is the only. By the way, Radios, I do have your film. I do intend to send it back to you. I'm sorry, been a little busy, but it'll go out this week. I love a good horror movie. Hey, Christian, I do. I love horror movies. Those 200-foot 16mm daylights are rare. Yes, they are a little bit hard to find. This is what Manny's talking about. These are daylight reels for 16mm 200-foot loads, which are pretty handy actually. And I have a bunch of 7231 plus X 200-foot loads that came on these that are still not exposed, and I probably got 20 of them. So I have quite a few of these reels. I just really need to get a 200-foot magazine for my Aeroflex. Mike says blah blah, great movie. That's a good choice, Mike. Christian says The Abominable Dr. Phibes, 1971 with Vincent Price, the king, undisputed champion of horror films. Good choice, Christian. And by the way, you'd be surprised to know I did not get copyright claimed on my last found film, like I said I was probably going to. I'm surprised I didn't get a copyright claim on the dun 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 dun, dun, you know, the Rocky music, but I did on the previous one. Go figure. Which I wasn't even familiar with the song. Evil Dead, Prince of Darkness. Yeah, Evil Dead. Wow. That's in my top 5 for sure, Manny. Prince of Darkness. Yes, great. Nicole Long says, you guys know who Nicole Long is? Killer Clowns from Outer Space. She spelled clowns wrong because it's a K, but I'll give her that. Excellent movie. Her and I love that movie. That's an obscure one. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but that's a creepy film. Did you say Killer Robots? My favorite horror movie has not even been released yet. It will be released. So Bonnie, are you talking about Five Nights at Freddy's? My daughter wants to see that really bad. I'm guessing that's the movie you're talking about. Mike says, no worries, we'll wait. You will wait. Mike, would you please use a closer mic? Oh, yeah, it's hard. Nasser, the only problem is, I've had someone mention that before. The only problem is I don't have a mic input on here. I will have to look and see about getting a USB mic for my computer. I use my laptop, which is right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. And my camera right in front is, it doesn't have a mic input. It's just a Logitech live stream camera. And unfortunately, I'm stuck with the mic that's built into it. Yes, great movie, awesome soundtrack. Yes, Nisi, it is an awesome, awesome movie that we have owned for years. There's R16 here in Sweden for $700 that ends on the 11th and have been valued at $1,000. I don't know about valued at $1,000, Bonnie. But they could. I mean, depends on what's with it. For some reason, the R16s just don't typically bring in as much as you would think. Nosferatu 1922 and the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari 1920. Watch them at this time of the year. I will have to check those out, Jeffrey. Thank you. Last House in Dead End. Last House in Dead... Oh, Last House at... Is it at the dead end of the street? Has a Bolex 155. I think I've seen that, Radios. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think Kodak would absolutely kill it if they did a 20-year anniversary by reproducing Kodachrome again. Marketing goldmine. I think you might be right, Mike. That would be really awesome. Or if they figured out a way to make another film stock, reversal, with a relatively easier process that mimicked identically those colors. 16mm is prosumer. Yes, it is. They cannot even release this new Super 8 camera. I know. I know. I don't know. I guess maybe there wasn't enough demand. I'm not sure why. 12.8 can probably... The 1218 is a beast, that's for sure. I wanted that combo digital film camera. Digital/film camera. Kodak announced. I know, I wanted one too. Yeah, it's normal. Ferroxide or type 1 tape material, basically rust. Yeah, that's what it is. Kodak screwed this up for one simple reason. The people who make the decisions have no idea who the target group is and zero idea what engineers to contact. You know, I'd like to know what percentage of Kodak's business is actually film stock, because I know they're a chemical company. But it would be interesting to know, from what I heard, they don't do as much film business as they do chemical business. Theater of Blood I have seen too, Radios. Interesting for sure. Pronounced Fibes. Gotcha. For Vincent Price. Love Vincent Price. this man had yeah, he did. It was creepy. Killer Clowns is awesome. Awesome 80s classic. For me personally, it's just simply, it's very, very, very subjective. There was never any horror or just films like they made in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s. I guess everybody could say that about their generation. But that's, you always, or you're comfortable with what you're familiar with. And I love and loved, especially horror films from the 80s. The cheese factor and just so corny, but it just very comforting. Well, correct. It's pronounced Fives. Yeah, I know. Here's part 2. Dr. Fives rises again, but it's inferior to the original. You can get a little USB sound cards with headphone output and microphone input, so you can update your missing mic in pretty cheap. They are the size of a USB dongle. I'll look into that. Is it? I know it's hard, probably when you're driving, especially, to listen. I'll try to talk louder, but then I start losing my voice. The movie Madman is my favorite cult horror film. Pow Pow, I love that movie. Another 80s, maybe late 70s, but it definitely in that 80s. Maybe it was 80s. Excellent movie. Caligari was great. I have not seen it. Is that Caligari? Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Caligari. I have to look it up. Vincent Price, an incredible voice and screen presence. Bill Hader does a perfect impression of him. I have not seen that. Oh, on Dead End of the Street. Yeah, I know what you meant. Du musst Caligari. Worden. You must become Caligari. Yep, waited for 8.5 years, and meanwhile, Warner Brothers have released their own version, but with banana splits and one starring Nicolas Cage. Yes, that Nicolas Cage. A 1973 film shot on an Arri 16S. By the way, speaking of the Arri 16S, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but there was a film shot in the, I think, late 70s called Platoon. Very, very popular war movie, a Vietnam War movie. Vincent D'Onofrio, I believe, and Matthew Modine, and just it's a wonderful movie. But there's a shot. There are couple of shots, but one in particular where they use an Arri 16S. The Modine is a journalist in that movie, and him and his people they're filming something. And at one point, it's on a tripod, and they're filming. I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's a still shot, and you can see so clearly the 16S, and you can almost make out the entire serial number of that camera. And I just always thought how cool it would be to track down that particular Arri 16S. It's a 15,000 camera serial number, but I don't remember the whole number. Mine is I don't know where it's at, 12 I think, or 15, 14, I can't remember. Kodak missed the opportunity to spread out their wings like Fuji. This is why Fuji is still around, because of their different departments. Yeah, I think Kodak, I love Kodak, don't get me wrong. I do. I always have. I used to own stock in Kodak. No, I used to own stock in Panavision when they were publicly traded. But I don't know. I don't know how much of that company is film and how much of it is focused on their chemicals. I would think probably more on the chemical side. And I know they cross, but I don't know. I really think Kodak camera made no sense. Certainly not for the price. It was expensive, that's for sure, Nisi. I think it would have been a good option for people. 68 to 82 is a sweet spot for me. Yeah, for movies, that'd be great. I agree. The 80s horror movies are great. The atmosphere is unmatched. They had very nice film stocks in the 80s too. Yes, they did, Christian. And I just watching them, they're just so fun. Wally's Wonderland, 1986. Platoon. Apocalypse Now is late 70s. Yes, Apocalypse Now, you're right. Wally's Wonderland is probably one of the best horror movies I have ever seen so far. I have not seen that. Is that 1986, Wally's Wonderland radios? that he don't speak in the whole movie. Interesting. One of my best friends shot 16mm in Nam. Crazy stories, lots of gear talk. Wow. Joel Schumacher shot Tigerland. Good movie. On 16mm too, back in 2000. Wish this one would get a 4K release. Oh, Platoon was 1986? Okay. That's the year I graduated high school. It was released like 2 to 3 years ago. Oh, awesome. There was a documentary on Kodak, and how they could not imagine people would not be shooting film, yet they made the first digital camera. It is crazy, the mindset. Ticho the Iron Man. Is that a movie? Wait. Manny, what is that movie? Is that a movie? Who love you, Coda? Yeah. So what do you do now if you want sound on film? You got to shoot with something like this. Now I'm going to show you guys another little recorder that I have, and I've done a lot of little short movies on it. That Christian, this is the Marantz. Marantz is the name that I was trying to remember. I've had this recorder for 20 years probably. Who has heard of Marantz? Look at that beast. XLR inputs on the side, 2-channel, 32, 44.1 and 48 kilohertz, is that right? Look at that. See, this, my new Tascam, does not use XLR, which is bad when you do pro work, obviously. This does. But this is an old school, very old school digital recorder. And we use this on a lot of movie sets. We don't use it anymore. They're very inexpensive now. You can get them in good condition for less than $100 now. But all you need anymore to get sound on film, kind of, is a digital recorder. Yeah, I said digital. Digital recorder, a microphone, like my boom mic, boom mic right there, my Rode boom mic, a clapperboard, or at least something that makes a spike, and some non-linear editing software. That's all you need. You don't even really need a camera that shoots with crystal sync. As you guys know, I've done lots of videos on that. Oh, Japanese shock horror. I got you, Manny. Does anyone remember a flick titled Colossus? Yes, I do remember that, Mike. I don't know if I've seen it, but I definitely remember that. A guy grows into a giant. Yes. I don't know if I've seen it, though, but I remember the name. Sweet rig. Yeah, it's a very interesting recorder. Oh, one of these Marantzes. Yeah, you wanted one so bad. I did too. I always thought they were cool. In fact, I even had the cassette version at one point. But this comes off. This has all of the settings, not ones you would use each time you record. But if you take this panel off right here, there's 2 screws. There's a whole, like 3 rows of different buttons here on top. I know it's hard to see because this is black and kind of dark. Can you see the thing on there? It is. Come on, get the light in there, right there. That comes off. And see those buttons there? There's 3 more rows of them there. Just settings that you would want to set and forget for the most part. You know, your record. Ching ching, ching ching, ching 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 ching. It takes AA batteries, I think 8 of them on the bottom, or you can use an external pack, or you could plug it in too. Great recorder. It really is. Even today, it's still not a terrible recorder. Marantz made good stuff. Yeah, I've always liked Marantz, but they sort of faded away a little bit. Oh, train guy, you're here. You're here. You're only an hour late. That's good. I was late. I was 7 minutes late. Sorry. Okay, I'm a little behind. Oh no, the D word. Wait, what did I miss? The D word. They used DAT. I had a DAT recorder. Those were awesome. It was taped. A lot for dialogue audio recording in the 90s. Yes, they did. Pated. Hey, am I saying that right? Pated ER. Thank you for popping in. I have a Canon AutoZoom 1014. The motor and the film gate work, but when I take out the Super 8 cartridge, my Sharpie mark has not moved. Not sure what to do. Well, it sounds like your little drive motor is not turning. So when you take that out, when you take the cartridge out, try pulling the trigger and look inside. Does that thing turn? Does the little spindle, it'll have a little pin, does it turn? If it does not turn, then you have an issue with a gear or a belt, and that might be tricky to get fixed. If it does turn, put light pressure on it with your finger and see if it has any torque. If it has any torque at all, then it's your cartridge. Bonnie, spoiler, I like the fact that Matthew Mizzou went to stopping villains in Scooby-Doo to probably be in the murder in Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So yeah, what's Five Nights at Freddy's? My daughter wants to see that really bad. They actually shot the audio on regular reel-to-reel tape for Star Trek The Next Generation. I didn't know that. Interesting, Mike. One of my favorite little Super 8 horror movies that you guys know, I've talked about it before, Killer, shot in 1989. They did all the audio on cassette tape. Marantz stereos, Katie, yes. Good old Marantz stereos. Have you seen the Winnie the Pooh horror movie? I have not. What was the other horror movie? Oh, what was it? With the Grinch, I think. Wasn't there a Grinch one that was like really creepy? It was a little more low budget horror. What was that? I think there was a Grinch one that was out, but I have not seen that either. No, I have not seen that, Bonnie. Marantz, Tascam, Fostex, Akai, Studer, all those names always make you drool. Yes, they do, Mike. I had in my early days in the 80s, I had this pickup truck. I wanted to be cool, and I had it lowered. You know, back then it was kind of cool to have them lowered. You know, it was kind of a pain. But I put the stereo. I wanted a cool cassette player in my little mini truck, and guess what brand? You ready for this? You ready? You ready? Alpine. You guys remember Alpine? I had an Alpine cassette deck in my truck. I still have a Marantz PMD 201 cassette recorder, the same size, was used by journalists. That's a good recorder, Mike. Those are fun. I love cassette recorders. Nagra for me on that list. Yes, I had a Nagra 4, Manny, and I kicked myself almost every other day for selling it. Marantz made awesome analog and tube receivers. It was a great brand. You're right, Cecil. Great brand. And yes, Mike, Nagra, very expensive now. And hey, Train Guy is here. D1GT, what? Digital, oh, radios. Flying Obuku, bro. Just realized that I have been here for more live streams than I have not. Thank you, Bonnie. That's awesome. So have I. Wow, Bonnie, you can never leave, ever. You can't leave, Bonnie. On your shirt, instead of rock, paper, scissors, it should be a... I know. It should be. I've had this shirt way too long. Abel, thank you. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Krampus. That, what movie was that? Radios. I don't remember. The name sounds familiar. Was that the Santa one? I don't remember. Or is that the one I'm thinking of? Bonnie points to the sign. You are here for... You're here forever. Alpine? Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long... Yeah, I know, Mike. Alpine, now you remember, I think Alpine came stock in Lamborghinis So we just thought it was so cool. And then what was my, I had the amps, you know, the big boom, boom. But I had an amp, and it was Fosgate. Does anybody remember Rockford Fosgate audio? Or they were amplifiers. I got a Marantz CD54. Is that a CD player? Radios? Pretty sure the FNAF Five Nights at Freddy's have already made more money than what. Oh yeah, definitely, Bonnie. They got books. They got they got everything. The shows, the games. Only one like on. Oh, only one like on the live stream. What? Come on, people. If you're leaving, like it. Look. If you're gonna leave, like it. If you're gonna stay, like it. I gotta look. Is there no likes on the live stream? Come on now. Oh, I can't really tell. It's hard. I'm not, you know, because I'm logged in. It's hard to tell. And yeah, oh my God, those Swiss-made Nagra machines were. Wait. Every time I click, it goes away. And those Nagra machines were and still are. They are. Come on, we know that when you play something on magnetic tape, it just sounds beautiful. Crackly, crackly. Bye, Abel. Still state of the art. They are state of the art, Christian. Do you guys remember the found film I did? I think it was found film 50 or somewhere around there. The one where we were trying to figure out what they're doing. It was a film set or something. It looked like an awards show maybe it was being shot. I think that was a Nagra on the table by the sound person. And they had a mini Nagra too. Remember the Nagra Mini? It was little. Real little one. Those would be cool to have. I guess it didn't refresh since I joined. Oh, did it not, Gamer? Krampus wears it was made in Norway. I didn't know that, Barry. Is that Krampus? Is that the one with the Grinch? Was no, I knew what you meant, Barry. Yeah, the spindle does turn. It might be the cartridge. Thank you for the advice. Of course. If it's an old cart, especially like old Kodachrome 2 or something like that, they jam easy. Very early CD player. Yeah, that's what I figured with the model number. Alpine cassette radio with a Fosgate amp. Now you're taking me back. Yeah, I had all that. You know, I thought it was cool. My dad, he loved carpentry, and he built me the box, put the speakers in it. I think I only had one. I didn't have any money. Then I had the tilt bed, push a button inside, and your bed. It was so dorky. There's 17. Whew. Easy. Thank you. Heck yeah, Fosgates, Alpines, and the 69 SS with Craig. Oh, I love Krager, those wheels. We're going back now. Joining the stream should give you an auto like when you are. Yeah, Mike. I just mean the FNAF movie. They spent 20 to 25 million US and have already made profits from selling. Yeah, that industry. Aaron, how are you, my friend? Recently got a 514 XLS, but there's specks or particles. When I looked through the viewfinder, I brushed the gate and cleaned everything. Can you tell if it's something in the lens or in the viewfinder? It's probably just the viewfinder, Aaron. It's hard to tell, but more than likely, if it was on the lens, you won't see it in the viewfinder. That's the rule of thumb. If you can see it when you look through the viewfinder, 90% of the time it is in the viewfinder and it won't affect your film. But thank you for coming into the live stream. I appreciate it. Those spy Nagras, yeah, they were little. The footage of John Waters' female trouble being filmed with a sound guy with a reel-to-reel. Yeah, those reel-to-reels are huge, though. Well, not the Nagras, but you know what I mean. Good analog tape sounds fantastic. I did work with a Nagra. I didn't record, just playing back music for a TV show. Not a practical machine for that. It's a high precision machine for recording. Very high precision. I mean, it looks like a blown up section of the inside of a Rolex watch. I mean, it's so precise. Barry says Krampus is one where the kids make a wish and he wanted to get rid of all the... Oh, I've heard of it. I just can't place it. But thank you, Barry. I think it is funny people want to record with scratches and pops and people want to see light. I know, Jeffrey. Everybody wants to see the junk. You know, the old school junk that we tried so hard to get rid of back in the day. 26 viewers, 17 likes. Shocking. Where is the commitment? Come on, people. Get it together. 19 now. Thank you. Got 33-inch reel tapes for $2. That's a good deal, Bonnie. Doesn't surprise me, though. Cold. Non-scratches and crackles are for certain tastes only. I like the analog sound as clean as possible. Well, the good thing is now you can get it as clean as possible, then add those scratches and whatnot if you really want them, you know. I haven't tested the Sony TC252. We'll get busy. I had a nice nag for my video production company in 1988. I bet you wish you still had it too, don't you, Mike? Yeah, he is lucky. So guys, where are we at? Oh boy, almost an hour and 20 minutes. I know, that time of day. I have to get a few things done. It's Sunday. Kids start back to school tomorrow. I'm already losing my voice. Tomorrow. You gave 2 thumbs up watching on. Thank you, Barry. Everybody log in on every device they own and thumb up it. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover, right? Basically just love chatting. I love chatting with you guys and gals. I heard carbon resistors are usually more noisy than metal film resistors, so you can get audio circuits really clean. You guys are talking so far out of my league with the circuitry. Circuits and resistors. Have you ever shot anamorphic? I have not shot anamorphic, but I would love to. I just don't have any of those lenses. Why wouldn't you be able to see specs if they were in the lens? Because of the magnification, for the most part, Aaron, you just won't see them. That's why a lot of times, I can tell you that when you have fungus in lenses as well, like the growth, you typically can't see it. It doesn't show up on your film for the most part, unless it's really bad. And you just can't see it through the viewfinder. As a rule of thumb, like I say, it's probably a 90% chance that it's in your viewfinder. The oldest camera that you have, for me, it is my foldable Kodak 122 camera. Bonnie, for me, it would be my Bell & House 70A from 1924, I believe. So almost 100 years old. You better, Mike, hit that button. Doing the Lord's work here. Had a great time. Great way to spend the afternoon. Thank you, Barry. Katie, thank you so much for popping in. Like I say, I can't go through everybody's names, and I don't because I'll forget one, and that I don't like forgetting anyone. So thank you to everyone that stopped in. We are an hour and 20 minutes deep. 100 years old. Yes, Nisi, almost 100. And I will definitely be here, as far as I know, next week. Next Sunday. I hope you're here. Next Sunday as well. Love your channel. I'm glad I found a small community like this. Well, Aaron, I'm glad you are here. Very, very glad you are here. Thank you. Manny and Bonnie, as always, thank you. Mike, the Mikes, the Nises, everyone. Jeffrey, Radios, Cecil's. There I go. I got to name names because you guys are awesome. Gamer, Abel, Katie, everybody, Manny. Love you guys. I will see Ramiro. There you go. You're here. Be on time next Sunday. For sure. Remjet. Everyone. Gordon, there you are. Bonnie. And one more name. I'm going to say bye to one more name. Train guy. That's it. Okay. Talk to you guys. We'll see you next